Alright, so welcome to the second part of this series. I'm going to be doing a
I'm glad to
unarmed
see another
warrior.
Miller now. I would
So
appreciate it
this
if you...
character, the reason I'm doing unarmed as a warrior is because Monk did not have as much access to damage as a warrior did. And so I'm hoping that the rage and
Clearville could be in
access to other
danger.
things like
I'd
even
best hurry.
possibly Avatar of Fire with exposure and flammability might be better than the monk. So I'm just hoping that that is just how it works out. But we'll see. I don't really know really what I'm going to do other than getting damage. There is also the access to the regen
Now
if I ever want
this
it.
might be just what I need.
But I'll just figure it out as I go. I'm going to have to get an unarmed skill, which I don't really know the attribute requirements for unarmed skills. We'll find out soon. And let's just see how it goes. I'm going to quickly kill the first boss, and I'll be back after he's dead. Alright, let's talk about the Bloated Miller boss. I just decided to do this boss fully unarmed because the warrior doesn't actually get an unarmed skill this early on in the game. I actually had to wait till I got to town. And this made me realize very quickly how hard this challenge was going to be. I had to dodge even the Miller's basic attacks, and it was quite a pain. I think I died 4 times just trying to do this because I kept trying to just face tank the boss since I thought, oh, it's a tutorial boss, why can't I just face tank it and kill it? But yeah, this really set the tone for the challenge here.
Tempered by victory. I'm sorry, Brannock.
Alright, he's dead.
It was me.
We gotta make sure that our
you.
character doesn't have auto-equip on. Okay, no, good. So at this point, I had to now go and start completing the actual campaign, and I had already tried this on a monk before, and that's how I found out that a monk just didn't have enough damage to really do a pure unarmed character with the current state of supports for unarmed and the current state of the passive tree. So I just continued on and decided to skip both the ice boss that's in this area and Devourer for now to gain some extra levels because, like I said, I already did this before. I knew I couldn't do them with just unarmed this early on. So I just started continuing to the Rust King. I'm going to skip past doing the Grillwood because the Grillwood is quite small and there isn't much to talk about. The only thing is that I went to the witch's house and clicked the cauldron to grab the upgraded flasks from there, and that was about it. In the Red Vale, I obviously just had to go click the 3 altars and go fight the Rust King. At this point, I had actually gotten some support gems, and I did the classic thing I always tend to do, which is I had brutality, and I decided to try and add elemental damage to my character's attack. But brutality makes it so you do no elemental damage, and I don't know why I always do this. I always forget that you have no elemental damage on your attack when you have brutality. I even did this in PoE1 sometimes, where I'd be like, why am I not doing extra damage with this? And yeah, just classic problem. It doesn't matter how much I freaking make that mistake. I always make that mistake. Besides that, at this point, I could tell mobbing was becoming a big problem. I didn't really have any AoE. The killing palm attack has like a tiny little bit of AoE, but it doesn't really do enough for mobbing, especially when you have a bunch of ranged enemies that are sitting far enough apart that that tiny little AoE doesn't do anything. And I was really quickly realizing that this is going to be a problem when I get to those bosses that have a lot of mobs coming in, and I would have to solve it eventually. But for now, it was fine. I was just leveling up and hoping that eventually I'd just get enough damage to just one-shot all the mobs with my killing palm and just be able to fly through the mobbing areas. Okay, there's not much I can say about Rust King, so I'm just going to speed it up. The boss was relatively easy. The only thing that gave me trouble was the mobs, since I was still heavily single target at this point, and I was not to the point where I was one-shotting all the mobs. So, I mean, the fight's not all that interesting, and I just managed to kill him the first try, but it took a while. I think the Rust King's dead. Nice, okay. Not too bad. Oh, we got a unique. Not gonna use it, but there, that boss is done. So after killing the Rust King, I went back to kill Beira for the 10 cold res, and I went and killed the Devourer just so I could get an extra support gem since I had messed up earlier by trying to put elemental damage on a skill that has brutality. I just want to take a second to talk about the skill Killing Palm. It has two major flaws on a character that's using it as their main skill. The first flaw is that it targets specifically cullable targets over everything else, even if that target could never be hit in the current situation. And in the normal use of the skill, it's completely fine for it to target a cullable target because you're probably doing it on a target that is just available to hit. But in the way that I'm trying to use it is incredibly frustrating because I will keep slamming my face into a bunch of mobs because it keeps trying to target the cullable target behind them, but the skill itself cannot travel through minions. I hated this so much. The other thing about the skill is that it has an area of effect, and this area of effects seem to be what decides whether or not you actually hit a target. This area is incredibly small, and some mobs you would actually have to hit 3 or 4 times, I should say click on 3 or 4 times, even when you were point blank, and you still wouldn't hit them. The skill has hits cannot be evaded on it, so it's just a brutal skill sometimes to use when you're trying to kill some mobs. I'm actually just going to skip ahead here a lot and just show some sped up footage so I can talk over it right now. Mobbing at this point became extremely annoying. I would have to use a portal to go to town every like 3 or 4 packs just so I could refill my potions so that I can continue on because I didn't have hit that next checkpoint yet and my potions were just already gone. So this was brutal at this point. This skill did not have enough AoE to do mobbing properly, and I didn't really solve this until the end of the act actually, which I kind of hate myself for. I should have really just allowed myself to find a way to fix it earlier. But yeah, I'm just a masochist, I guess. But I'm just going to skip ahead all the way to Asinia since it took me around 40 minutes from the start of the Grim Tangle all the way to finding her in the boss arena.
Your way has no place here, Karui. No escape! Rant of the full moon. Disturb me. To me, Draven. Insolence. No escape. To me, Draven. Right of the full moon. Beloved Draven, aid me. Right of the fourth.
Nice.
Your cruelty was immortalized in song, Asinia. Your end will...
Oh, Draven. What can I say about this boss? I went into this boss not expecting it to take 40 minutes again like my first Gearless character. I thought I had learned enough about this boss to make it a cakewalk, but I was very mistaken. There's quite a few problems with this boss. Number 1, Draven's sweep attack that sends out projectiles is much easier to dodge if you're moving counterclockwise around the boss instead of clockwise, since there's an extra projectile on the right side of the boss. I don't know if this is a bug or they did this on purpose, but I really don't like it, to be honest. Number 2, as a melee character, it is incredibly easy to get stuck on the boss when you're trying to roll away from his 4 swing attack, and this just causes you to always take a free hit. Coupling these two problems with his enraged phase on top of that made this boss incredibly frustrating, but I eventually prevailed and beat the boss.
A Karui soul for my collection. You shall die slowly. Rend your soul. The spirit's hunger. Rend your soul. Asinia!
At your request.
Soul is mine! The Eternals will never surrender! I will end your meaningless life! Your intrusion will be punished! Perish! My beloved Asinia!
Here, my beloved.
Rend your soul! I will end your meaningless life! Rend your soul, Asinia! Join me!
I'm here, my beloved.
Rend your soul! To me, Asinia.
I am here, my beloved.
Cut down! Asinia!
At your request.
Intrusion will be punished! Your name has long been maligned in Ogham, Draven. This was my pleasure.
Alright, Lachlann. This boss really displays a lot of the flaws that they have in the attempts to make it so that ranged and melee characters have a different experience with boss fights. This boss punishes a melee character so hard if you accidentally roll a little bit too far away from the boss, and he instantly does like one of his slow attacks. Because then, since you are already close to the boss, he can follow up with like his slam attack or something, and since you're chilled or hindered, you just get absolutely obliterated. This boss actually frustrated me so much, and once I learned that you could just keep rolling near him and he can only do actually one of his like special type skills, it made the boss an absolute joke. But I don't understand this. Like, really, a ranged character can just abuse this too, and it doesn't help with the whole problem of melee versus range on the boss fight. Oh, I went too far away. Should be the kill. Alright, Jesus Christ, that... Okay.
Hunt with the first ones, old man.
Yeah. After Lachlann, there is a bunch of branching paths to choose from. I ended up going to Ogham Farm because I found it first, and I wanted to get Una's loot for the 2 passive points, as well as getting the uncut skill gem from the crop circle event in this area. At this point in the run, the aim locking and inconsistency of what mobs would get hit by killing Palm was really getting to me. But the real problem was just that I kept refusing to grab Seismic Totem to clear trash mobs. If I had grabbed this skill earlier, I would have had a much better time clearing this act. I was also thinking about how I could go kill the King of the Mist and get my first Spirit skill from him, and then I could grab a Herald skill that I could use to help with clearing. However, I was thrown another curveball when I finally got to that point. Alright, King of the Mist for this character was interesting to say the least. This boss was not even a problem at all for my Sorceress, but as a melee character, this boss does the same thing as Draven, where some of his attacks, he steps forward, so if you roll at the wrong angle, you just get stuck on the boss, and then you'll just get hit by his attack anyway, even though you dodged it originally, and I just don't like this. I really wish that you wouldn't feel like you're just like chained to the boss sometimes when you're rolling. But besides that, I do want to point out that there is a cheese that you could do with this boss at the time that I did him, which I decided not to do, which is that you can put a portal at the very edge of the arena near where you enter, and this portal would stay during the fight. You could also even go over to that entrance area and drop the portal during the fight if you wanted to just leave and go refill your potions. I decided against this, which is probably why it took so many tries, because I could have just easily, left and refilled my potions, but I decided against it just to kind of be more faithful, I guess, and not use exploits. The boss himself was fairly easy, other than his second phase just having that debuff that lasts on you for way too long as a character that's melee. You have to stand still or keep the keep moving is fine for 10 seconds, but the stand still for 10 seconds as a melee character when the boss is forcing you to move away from it for a slam or something just feels so bad this early on in the game. And with all these problems, the Gearless still prevailed.
Don't hit me, don't hit me. No! The hinder! Oh, fuck. I wasted that. I thought I'd charge onto him, so I just rolled into those.
I'm not ready.
Okay, we got him. Holy shit. Oh, Spirit. Okay. Now here's the problem with Spirit. Herald of Ash requires a weapon. Ooh. Okay.
Yeah, so it turns out that the Herald skills in this game require you to have a weapon, and I did not know this, so I was not able to get one of the Heralds to help with clearing, and I was forced to go with War Banner, which, I mean, it's fine, but I was finding it hard to find times to do the animation where you would actually place the War Banner and then continue hitting mobs, where you wouldn't have just got the same, if not more damage by just hitting the mobs normally.
Alright, for this one I'll actually record Crowbell. This boss shouldn't be too bad. I'm kind of over leveled at this point. The first phase is kind of a joke. I don't even know if he has a slam attack on the first phase. I've never had to fight him long enough for it. There's a double uppercut. Oh, he does have a jump attack. Okay. No, it didn't jump after him. So Crowbell, just like King of the Mist, does have the cheese ability where you can put down a portal before the boss fight.
Rage all you want, beast.
And technically, fucking... Oh, they actually did delete the portal. Okay, never mind. Disregard that completely. I gotta remember he has a double uppercut. He should run away after this, right? Yeah, there he goes. Now I'm just gonna hit him to keep rage up. Ow. Yeah, there we go. Okay, there's our 2 points. Not too bad.
Alright, the Executioner. This boss is the bane of a bunch of people that play melee. I managed to almost beat him on the first try, but ended up dying to his Sunder attack near the end of the kill. There are 2 things I noticed during this boss. The first one was the same as many other bosses, where it's just easier to dodge his attacks if you circle around a counterclockwise way rather than going clockwise around the boss. The second thing is that you can memorize the boss's cooldowns, sort of. This sounds kind of obvious, but all bosses have a cooldown to their major attacks, and this is so they can't spam them over and over and over. But knowing that the attacks have cooldowns and the range in which a boss will use a given attack will give results similar to this clip.
He's gonna do his slam in a second. Gotta be careful. Do his like wave attack. Okay, they have a cooldown. It doesn't seem like it, but they have a fucking cooldown. Yeah. There's no way I'm counting that cooldown in my head, but...
I can't yet.
Dude. Okay, he's gonna do guillotine soon. Kind of got a general idea of when they happen now. Okay, his swing attack's happening. Okay, the guillotine has a longer cooldown than the rest of his attacks. He might do his slam because I'm like relatively close. Yep. Let's dodge that. Okay, he's gonna do his fucking swing attack again, where I need to dodge. Okay, guillotine's coming up. There it is. Slam attack's available.
Alright, I think you get the point. Knowing a boss's cooldowns could be absolutely insane for getting a kill on the boss, and we're gonna move on to the actual final kill of the boss.
Face your death. Get down here!
No, it keeps targeting the wrong guy. Execute, yes! Oh my god. Nice. First try. Alright, we got our extra level. We're at 330 health, so we got an extra 22 health from that level. I'm going into this fight at 100 deaths on the dot. Let's see how long this takes, how many deaths I get. I have learned a lot from doing the Sork run, so I'm hoping it doesn't take 50 tries, but we'll see.
As you can hear, I was feeling pretty confident going into Geonor. However, I was about to get absolutely decimated by this boss. The first phase of Geonor does not play nice to players in melee range. Geonor has the same style of attacks that get the player stuck to him if you try to dodge roll away, causing you to take a free attack or two. Geonor also has attacks that only would ever interact with a player if you were in melee range, which, again, just freaking sucks. Even having done the entire campaign as a melee character, I didn't even know the attack where Geonor runs to a wall with his sword could stab the player and do damage over time as he drags you across the entire arena. This attack alone caused so many deaths on this character because I would just happen to killing palm to the boss at the same time as he started the animation, and there was just almost no escape if I didn't instant dodge roll. I'm going to skip the next 2.5 hours of pain I experienced of this boss in order to explain what I did. First, I finally grabbed Seismic Totem. This allowed me to deal with Geonor's minions much easier. While farming for the support gems for Seismic Totem, I ended up losing my instance to the boss fight and had to run all the way back to him, which made me get level 18 as well. Second, I realized a massive way to exploit Geonor's cooldowns in his second phase. In his second phase, he has 4 major attacks if you include the minion phase. He seems to select one at the beginning at random, and if he doesn't instantly go into the minion phase, he might use all 3 of his other major attacks instead. And I realized that you could stun Geonor near the end of the last major attack, allowing all of the other attacks to come off cooldown and causing him to rotate through those again instead of even going into the minion phase. This made the fight incredibly simple compared to what it was.
I smell your blood. And I am ravenous, chilling froth. Requiem and high. I will take out your heart and savor each bite. Desolation. Solstice of pain. I will take out your heart and savor each bite. Killing frost.
Oh my god, yes! Fucking hell! Holy shit! Oh my god, okay, that was over 100 deaths. I had like 6 deaths because I went and got a support gem so I could get freaking Shockwave Totem. Oh my god, I'm so glad to be done that fight. Holy crap.
Where has she taken the beast?
Oh my god. Oh, that took so long. I ended up getting Shockwave Totem and putting Brutality in it with Overabundance just so I could have 2 of them. And that was purely for the mobbing. Holy crap. Oh. My heart's freaking pounding. That ending area, oh my god.
We must make haste.
Holy shit. That fight is just brutal. Okay, well, on to Act 2. See you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Holy cow.